Hello, it is all weaving this week. I have not done anything on the cardigan and I haven't abandoned it. It will get finished. I am enjoying it. It's just, I think this week my brain was not prepared for the commitment required to count that many stitches. And I have probably just been putting it off. So I will get onto that. I will sit down. I will suck it up and count the stitches. But I haven't done anything this week. So it's all weaving, but before I get to that, I wanted to show you, because I did a market on Sunday and I didn't sell anything, but I did buy yarn, so it was a good day. It's all right that I didn't sell anything. I sometimes don't. It's okay. But my friend Melissa was there with her Changeling Coloured Yarns stall. I've got this in a tangle already. So obviously I had to buy this one. I've got my hair in it already. Put that over there. Okay. So obviously I had to buy this one. This is called Flame. For obvious reasons, we've got this deep red into the orange and the yellow, and then that goes onto a black base like that. And what I'm hoping to do with this is, I think they call it a palindrome weave, where you line it up so that you get these colour patches along the length. I mean, it'll be longer than that, so there'll be at least one repeat of the colours. So we'll see how that goes. I'm excited to get this on the loom. It's merino, it's very soft. And I'm excited to see how it's going to look. And once I've finished the big order that I'm doing, I think this is probably going to be straight onto the loom, which I say every time I get new yarn, and then I have to wait for ages because I've found more new yarn to put on the loom first. Sorry, got distracted by the postie. So that's one of the ones I bought. And then she had another one that I was thinking about for a while, and I decided that I should probably have it. And I think I have it in my bag. I think I've been organised enough to have it in my bag. No, that's something else for later. No, that's the same thing again. Just bear with me, I'm very professional. Here we go. So this one, I'm going to put my flame away and then I'll show you this one properly. Oh, it's unravelling. That's okay. Put that back in there. Put that back in there. Right, this one. This is silk. I think this is her Aurora colourway, which is like the Southern Lights. So it starts with that sort of, get that in the light a bit better, starts with that sort of aqua, moves through to the blues and the pinky purples. So it's hand spun, so it's got a lot of texture in it. It's a rustic hand spun, so obviously it's not going to work for warp, but it will be a very nice weft, and I'm excited to get that on the loom as well. And there's going to be a bit of a battle, I think, between these two as to who gets on the loom first, but thankfully I have two looms, and I'll show you both of those shortly because they're both in play again. But last week on the loom I had this blue one, which is off the loom, as you can see. I had a really productive day on Monday, and I got two things off the loom, and I haven't wet finished them, but I could have, because they would have dried yesterday. And I don't know why Monday was so productive. I don't work Mondays, that might explain it. But anyway, so I remembered to do the colour detail at both ends, so I've got one end there, and then look, it's the same on the other end because I remembered to do it. But it is essentially just this dark blue background with a light blue detail. It looks the same all the way along. I'm just going to prove that to you. As I said, not wet finished, but this yarn will bloom a little bit. I don't know if you can see through. Oh, you can. If you look up here in the corner, instead of at my little face peering at you, you should be able to see that there's gaps in it because that's a balanced weave. Well done, me. And that should all fill in a little bit when it blooms, when I wet finish it. So that is off the loom. I'm happy about that. I will get that wet finished. And then the other one I was doing last week is also off the loom, and that's also in my bag. Here it is. And this is being held up so well. My problem is I've got my bag on both arms. There we go. That's a bit easier. So this is what was it? Pattern Sierra Chunky. So it shifts through the blues. I'm going to show you the whole length, all the way through. I nearly got this done with one shuttle. You'll see the join shortly, and it's not far before the end. So there's the join. And then, oh, if I just put a little bit more on the shuttle, I could have done it in one. Now, what I've done with this one also is a little sort of end of the warp thread. And I do that when I use a chunky yarn because it's easier to... That's the dog barking at the postie. I don't know if you can hear her. She's seeing him off. I find with the chunky yarn, it makes a very clunky sort of hem stitch. So if I'm going to hem stitch, I like to put in a little band of the warp, if I'm using a thinner warp, so that it just looks a bit more tidy. I don't know how tidy that looks, but theoretically it looks a bit more tidy. So that is also due for a wet finish, and there's not going to be probably as much change with that because the weft there is acrylic. The warp is wool, so there should be some shrinkage and a little bit of bloom, but we'll see how that goes once it's had a bath. Now, I have something on the big loom that is very big, so I'm going to show you that now because I was looking at it last night. I finished warping it up last night and I've only just started it, but it's very big, so I'll show you that. I can't remember the last time I wove something this wide, and I feel like it's already out of control because it's so wide. It's fine, I'm getting back into the swing of it, and I must have weaved. I must have woven at this width before. That's quite hard to say. I just can't remember what it was. It must have been something. Anyway, this is a wrap. It's very fresh on the loom. Hi, I'm down here. The hem stitching is just there. I've got my start. I've got my Leno lace detail for one end. The rest of this going onwards will be plain weave until I get to the other end, and then I'll repeat that Leno lace. I'll show you that close up in a second. I'm just giving you the big picture currently. Look how big this is, my gosh. So the weft here is this one, which is Bendigo Wool & Mills Classic 8-ply. Of course it is. If you had that on your bingo card, that could be the only thing on your bingo card and you would get a bingo. I can't remember which colour it is though, because that's something I never remember to look up before I start recording. It's one of the purples. It's lilac or lavender, one of those. Now for the warp here, it is Lion Brand Mandala. It's just under a full cake. The rest's gone into my magic ball stash to go into the magic ball. And I'm going to show you the label so that you believe me, but the colourway is, there it is it in focus? Focus on that. The colourway is Wood Nymph. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't look at that, get back in focus, in your own time, I don't look at that and think Wood Nymph. I feel like Wood Nymph should be greens and browns and sort of earthy colours rather than pinks and purples and whites. It's somebody at Lion Brand, I'm proving that with the label again, had a very strange day when they named this one. And I did buy 2 of these because I didn't know how much I was going to need. And I went and checked the other one, and it is also called Wood Nymph. So it's not a mislabelling of one cake. It's just a weird name for this colourway. Anyway, it's going really well so far. It feels very unwieldy. So I'm going to zoom in now and show you the Leno lace, because that's going to be the detailing, 3 on this end and then 3 on the other end. And then in the middle, it's just going to be plain weave. But let's have a little close-up look at the Leno lace. My Leno this time round is 1/1, so I'll tell you what that means. So you can maybe see, yes, I am in shot, there's that warp strand coming down there and that warp strand there, and then they're twisted over each other for the lace detail, and then the weft thread goes through to hold that twist in place. You can do 1/1 like that, you can do 2/2, and if you're feeling really fancy, you can do 1/2, but that is for frisky people. So that is what is on the big loom. I don't know when it will be off the big loom, because as I keep saying, it's mahoosive. And at the other end of the size scale, I've got this, a little scarf on my little loom. This is on a merino warp. That shuttle's being tricksy. There we go, I'll show you a bit closer up. It is a skipped dent, so you can see there where I've missed, on purpose, warping up some of the holes and slots so that I get this kind of texture effect. I don't know how that's going to hold up in wet finishing, but it looks great on the loom. And also this sort of white stripe effect where the warp is showing through the weft. Now this yarn is Lion Brand Landscapes in this really vibrant, almost not quite a rainbow. It's quite hard to get a true rainbow yarn without spending a lot of money. They always leave a colour out. This has left the red out. The one that I'm doing to make my cardigan with, the one that we're not talking about this week because I haven't done anything, also doesn't have a true red in it, and they quite often leave the purple out if they include the red. It's tricksy, but this is the closest I could get to a really nice vibrant rainbow, so that's what I'm using, and that's what the order said. I'm hoping to get at least one full run of the colour back through to the purple. I've started with purple, you can see, because I've just started, you can see where I started there. There's no hem stitching on this one because I'm not doing a fringe. I'm going to weave the fringe back in. But yes, I'm hoping to get at least one full run of the full colour spectrum on there. But we'll see how I get on. It's not as long, so it shouldn't take as long. That is science. But that is all I have for you this week. Hopefully this will be off the loom by it must be off the loom by next week. It's so short and small. I don't know how that big one's going to go. I'm kind of trying not to think about it. It feels really big. But that is it for this week. You have a lovely rest of your week and take care of yourself, obviously. And I will see you next time. Bye for now.